Hello, welcome to our first lesson of project writing or academic report writing. In this case, we are going to look at how we can do a paper or a research paper on a given project of a given topic of research. We can basically call it academic report writing. Maybe you have done a research of a given topic, you have done a thesis or a dissertation, and you want to present in terms of a report, a paper or a research paper. There are some steps that we all need to follow for us to be able to give a presentable document, a document that is universally acceptable. Now, in the first lesson, we are going first of all to look at what an academic research report is. We should understand why we do research. Then from there, we shall just look at the general information that is needed while we are doing a report writing or research writing. Now, why do we do research? We all know that research can be done by trainees pursuing a certain course or a candidate of a given examination, and told that maybe you are doing a course and you want to come up with a research on a given topic in your area of specialization. According to your career, you will come up with what is referred to as a research report. And therefore, we actually do a research so as to allow us pursue our interests and also just to learn something new, and also maybe just to up your problem solving skills, or to enhance problem solving skills, and maybe just to challenge yourself in a new way. So that's basically as to why we do research. Now, when you talk about research project itself, is just a discrete scientific endeavor to answer a research question or a set of research questions. So we do look at the current situation locally, maybe regionally, or maybe internationally, and just to know if there is an emerging issue or an existing problem that has once been solved but has not been fully solved, meaning there is a gap still that needs to be filled up. And maybe you come up as a researcher to find out ways or have ways through which we can come to a conclusion or resolve the problem that is existing. Maybe you have identified a gap through your literature review. You gathered all the reviews of the literature, all the content on that particular topic, or in the solving of that particular problem, and then you want to come up with a solution to the existing problem. And therefore, this one you will have to do it, and through all the researches and all the methodologies that will involve maybe different types of research designs and the methodologies for you to be able to come up with a solution or possible solution for the existing problem. So we shall get to go through different chapters, several chapters, when we want to do report writing or research report writing. And in most cases, universally, we have 7 major sections or major components of a research report. We shall just generally go through them and see what they entail. Now, before we just go through the different components of a research report, we get to have a general information on project writing. That in most cases, we normally use the font size of 12. In some time, we can use 14. But 12 is the most universally used. Then line spacing is 1.5, and we do paragraph spacing, that is double spacing, during our presentation. And then we do the text alignment as justify, or we do justification of text. And then the cover page should not have a number, although there are some places where numbers can be put on the cover page. And then we shall have what you call a declaration of the list of acronyms and maybe abbreviations, and we normally use Roman numbers for this case. And then we have chapters, and all the chapters will be numerical starting from chapter 1 to the last chapter. Those are just the general information that we need to know. Now, looking at the different components is that in most cases we normally start by counting from abstract as component number 1, but we also need to consider that cover page is also part of the project, and therefore we can also include cover page as one of the components. And then after cover page we have the abstract, and then introduction, and then literature review, which is also normally referred to as chapter number 2, whereby introduction is chapter 1. Then we have the research methodology, which is normally taken as chapter number 3. Then we have results, findings, and analysis, which is chapter 4. Then we have discussion, limitations, summary, conclusions, recommendations, and maybe the future scope. That is the second last chapter, and the last chapter actually. And then we shall have the references. So those are the major components that we shall go through one after the other, as we shall be having these lessons on report writing. Now, what should come on our cover page? That's something that we need to ask ourselves as we continue with this lesson 1. That our cover page should include a project title, the index number of the presenter, the name of the presenter, the institution affiliation, maybe the name of the place, usually a college or a university, where the presenter is taking a course or doing a research from, or conducting his or her research, and then the examination series or the course. Then it should also contain any other relevant information that we all need to know. Now, on our title of the research, we normally say that this is just considered a concise statement of the topic of the paper and variables and theoretical issues that are being explored in relation to that particular topic. It should be about 10 to 14 words, should not be more than 14 words. That means it should be precise, and then it should be centered, and then middle, actually should be in the middle of your page. It should be bold, and then the font should be 12 or 14. So basically that's what we shall look at or we get to know in our first page, and then from there we shall continue in our next lesson, whereby we shall look at what should entail in the abstract and also the preliminary pages of our project. Before we move on, chapter number 1, which will entail the introduction part of our project report. Thank you very much for attending to this lesson. I expect you in our next lesson. Have a nice time.